When the ephemeral will no longer be. Glittering detractors. Welcome to our channel that compares themes from the Gospel and Franciscan sources. For a more complete overview of our human, cultural and spiritual proposal, we suggest you visit the website juvie.art. Luke 21 verses 5 to 19. While some thought about the beautiful stones of the temple, Jesus announces that nothing of what was admired would remain. Although their paths differed, Francis and Clare of Assisi lived their lives with the ultimate horizon of life always before them. By divine revelation and undisputed intuition, they had understood that the glitter of this world would be the first detractors of souls. They knew that of all they saw, at the end of days nothing would remain. And every day, from the first light of dawn, this thought guided them in their work of witnessing. The sources, a bottomless vein of evangelical events experienced by these giants, proclaim starting from the Canticle of Brother Sun. Praised be you, my Lord, for our sister bodily death, from which no living man can escape. Woe to those who will die in mortal sins. Blessed are those who it will find in your most holy will, where the second death will not hurt. Sources 263. Nevertheless, Clare reminded her sisters of the ultimate goal of life. But blessed are those to whom it is granted to walk this way, and to persevere to the end. Sources 2850. Again, in one of her letters to Agnes of Bohemia, she recalls, "How often the kings and queens of this world deceive themselves in this regard. Even if they raised their pride to the sky and almost touched the clouds with their heads, in the end they will dissolve into nothingness, like garbage." Sources 2894. They always put their heart into it, trusting in God. As Jesus announces in the Gospel, "These things which you observe, the days will come when not one stone will be left upon another, which will not be destroyed." Verse 6. Insults and stones. Persecution and hatred towards Jesus' witnesses. The poor man of Assisi, having known Christ, he knew well that following in his footsteps would also involve insults and persecutions, starting from his family. In fact, the people of Assisi and his father, a shrewd merchant, they could not stand his radical change, and they thought he was crazy. But Francis, herald of Christ, did not let himself be intimidated. Guided by divine wisdom, which suggests to those who welcome it every appropriate response at the moment. The Franciscan Sources, a place of special evangelical training, narrate. One day, fired with enthusiasm, the saint left the cave and set out towards Assisi, lively, quick and cheerful. Armed with trust in Christ and inflamed with heavenly love, he reproached himself for his cowardice and vain trepidation, and boldly decided to expose himself to the hands and blows of his persecutors. At first seeing him, those who knew him as he was before began to insult him. shouting that he was a madman and a senseless, throwing mud and stones at him. Seeing him so changed, exhausted by penance, they attributed his change to exhaustion and dementia. But the Knight of Christ passed through that storm without noticing it, not allowing themselves to be struck and shaken by insults, giving thanks to God instead. News of what was happening spread through the squares and streets of the city, until it reached the father's ears. Hearing how they were mistreating him, he immediately went out to get him, with the intention not of freeing him, but of finishing it. Beside himself, he pounced on him like a wolf on a sheep, and staring at him with a stern eye and a face contorted with fury, he grabbed him and dragged him home. Here he locked him in a dark closet for several days, doing everything, with words and blows, to bring him back to worldly vanity. Sources 14:17. But Francis did not let himself be moved by the words, nor from chains, nor from beatings. He endured everything with patience, becoming more agile and stronger in following his ideal. Sources 14:18. Now before all these things, they will lay their hands on you, and will persecute, delivering you up to synagogues and prisons. Verse 12. And you will be hated by all because of my name. Verse 17. Luke 21 verses 5 to 19. Thank you all for your kind attention. Please subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our activities. If you liked it, leave a well done to support us. Subscribe, give your precious like, share with your friends, and feel free to comment. Thank you, join us, and see you soon.